The latest Star Wars series on Disney Plus is all about the girl power, and continuity-wise, it is taking place in the same time frame as The Mandalorian, and it's a spin-off of sorts of some of the animated stuff. Let's talk about Ahsoka. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my TV review for the latest Star Wars series called Ahsoka. This is streaming right now on Disney Plus, and we're doing the weekly thing over there. So far there have been, the fifth episode I think will drop tonight. As of me recording this, but I've seen the first three, and there's I think going to be 8 in total, but they're dropping those weekly, and we'll talk about the specifics here of the show in just a second, but I think this will be an interesting review because I am not an uber Star Wars fan. I've seen and reviewed a lot of the TV shows, but I haven't even seen all the movies. There were 2 in like the sequel or prequel series in the early 2000s that I just never ended up seeing. So I'm not like a super fan. I don't hate Star Wars, but I certainly am not entrenched in all the lore. And so this will be an interesting review, I think, because most of the reviews you might see on YouTube are from, super fans. Oh, they got this wrong or whatever. I'm kind of watching this, knowing some things, but certainly not everything about this character and the universe. So we'll take this for what it is. But let me welcome you first into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We've got a ton of great movie and TV reviews to check out. And I've reviewed a lot of the other Star Wars series as well, including The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett and Andor. So lots to check out Star Wars related on the channel here as well. But please consider subscribing down below. Would love to have you aboard there, and hit that notification bell too so you can be aware of all my new video drops. I try to post every day or just about a new video for you guys. So, all right. So Ahsoka is played, first of all, by Rosario Dawson, and this is a character from the animated shows The Clone Wars and Rebels, of which I've seen nothing of, I will say that. So I was pretty unfamiliar with this character. I guess I'd maybe heard of her, but that was about it. And this is sort of a spin-off from The Mandalorian, and it takes place in that sort of same time frame after the events of Return of the Jedi. But the basic premise here is that she's investigating a threat to the galaxy following the fall of the Empire. So there's always threats to the galaxy in these Star Wars things. But so Rosario Dawson, like I said, plays Ahsoka. But then you've also got Natasha Liu Bordizzo, who plays Sabine Wren, who is a Mandalorian warrior and graffiti artist. And then we've also got the wonderful Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Always love seeing her playing Hera, who is a New Republic general. So, look, going into this, I was not sure if I was even going to understand what was happening. So I pulled up a couple of articles. I basically Googled, like, do you have to know Star Wars lore to watch Ahsoka? And both of the articles I read said basically not really. It would help to, get some of the Easter eggs and some of the, the deeper cut stuff. But both the articles were like, you can still probably enjoy it. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let me be the judge of that. And to be honest, I think that is true. Look, I know that there's going to be people out there that get more of this show than I do. But I think you get a good enough background that if you've never seen Clone Wars or Rebels, you'll pretty much be caught up. I mean, it's to be honest, it's fairly standard, Empire stuff. So, are there some nuances here? Sure, that I know I'm not picking up on. But I really like the portrayal of this character. I love Rosario Dawson in the role. And, look, I'm always a fan of any actor or actress who does not mind completely obscuring themselves for a role. People have done it, in different Star Trek series, and certainly in the Star Wars universe a lot as well. Carl Urban comes to mind in the more recent Judge Dredd movie, where he had a mask on the entire movie. So I love that. If I didn't know the voice so well, I wouldn't have known that this was necessarily Rosario Dawson. You don't really see it in her face. And same with Mary Elizabeth Winstead. So I props to the makeup teams here and all of that, but also the choreography stuff is really on point with the fight scenes. And there are a lot of fights. I watched the first 3 episodes of Ahsoka, and from what I am recalling from my memory banks for the other Star Wars series I have reviewed, there's like a little bit of fighting here and there in the first couple episodes, but it's a lot of like, let's build the story, build the world, build these characters first, and then, get into some of the more action-oriented stuff as we move into subsequent episodes and stuff. And here, yeah, there's definitely some character building, I guess, but because this is a character that people have seen in the animated versions for so long, and Star Wars fans will know this character, I guess, pretty well. They really kind of dive right into the story. And there is a crawl at the beginning of episode 1 that says, okay, here we go with, a little bit of background for what we're seeing and whatever. But and I don't want to say a non-fan, I just am so kind of whatever about Star Wars. Like, I'm not obsessed about it. I don't dislike it. It's completely, fine to me. So I don't want to say as a non-fan, but as a non-Uber fan, let's say, I found the storyline to be, pretty palatable. I understood most of what was happening. I didn't really have to look anything up. Maybe I had a couple questions, but it was just like they weren't important enough, just kind of enjoy the ride of the story. So the performances here are very good. There's lightsaber battles, so that's always fun. And Rosario Dawson, I read, did some fight training to learn how to fight ambidextrously, both left and right hands. And her performance, if look, who knows how much is a stunt coordinator and a stunt double and how much is her, but the fight sequences are really, really cool, regardless. And this thing, like a lot of the Star Wars stuff, I guess, but this thing has seemingly a movie style budget. Like, it looks very, very crisp, very clean. It looks like this could be, on the big screen, and it would not be, diminished in quality at all. Disney is obviously putting a lot of their money and efforts into some of these Star Wars shows. The last couple have been great. I think it dipped a bit. I did not care for the Book of Boba Fett. Or no, did I like that one? Obi-Wan is the one I really didn't like. But Andor, which I think is the most recent live action one before this, I think was my favorite so far, even more than The Mandalorian. And then this one is sort of right up there with it. Now, I will admit I didn't go super into The Mandalorian. I only saw the first few episodes to review it for you guys. But so far, from a first few episode standpoint, I think this is among the best offerings they've given us. And if you are not a huge Star Wars fan, it's okay. I really think they do well by the sort of uninitiated. I mean, you have to know, I guess, the core basics, but it's been a part of our lives for 45 years. So I think most of us know at least a little bit about what is happening in Star Wars, culture or whatever in this universe that they've created. But Rosario Dawson gives a great performance, and this is listed as a miniseries right now. So I don't know if we're going to get more episodes of this. Is this going to be moving on to a season 2? I really couldn't tell you. As of now, it's listed as a mini-series. But there's going to be, like I said, I believe 8 episodes total. They're rolling them out weekly, so there's still a chance to catch up on the first few, before the last few of the season arrive. But this is a very, very solid entry into the Star Wars universe, and I leave Ahsoka with an A-. A lot of good stuff here. For someone who doesn't even care about Star Wars, I thought this was really quite good. So, all right, thank you so much for watching Dan Reviews It. I'll see you next time. Bye.